Okay, are we on? Yes, I think we are live. Since I can see the live button. Great. Oh my God. You know what? It's my first time ever on YouTube Live. So go grab me, celebrate with me. Woohoo! I am excited at least. So just give me a few seconds. I will watch where I see the chat. Okay, there is the chat. Perfect. And there is, I hope you can hear well. What I see now, there is no one yet watching. But if there is someone now live watching, so please can you write on the chat that you see me and hear me well. I would appreciate that. But even if no one is right here now with, anyway, planning to start now sharp 12 o'clock. I actually have another place to run then later. So let's just get started, shall we? So if you read my Facebook or Instagram post, so these YouTube lives are all about this book that I wrote just a few months ago, or I wrote it last year, but it came viral 2-3 months ago. Open Your Fucking Heart. And I've been thinking for a while, what's a like good way to bring the message of this book forward, since I really do believe that the message, or actually there are plenty of really good messages. So what's the best way to bring them forward? And YouTube Live was one thing that just came through, and I've actually been waiting a few weeks to start with this live, since many of you know that me and my family have just recently moved down to Spain, and we still don't have any Wi-Fi here, so everything is now going through my mobile Wi-Fi kind of connection, but it seems to be working at least now quite good. It has worked before, so we're hoping the connection is good. Anyway, I thought I'm just not gonna wait anymore the Wi-Fi to come. Then I just want to start, and I get this fire. Was it on Monday or Tuesday this week? I'm like, on Friday, I'm gonna start these lives, period, no matter what. So actually, I also wrote that the journey would be 14 weeks long, since this book has 14 chapters. But I just realized that the first chapter here is quite, and that's why welcome to this 18 weeks YouTube live journey with me, where we open your fucking heart. And yeah, and just whatever questions you have, just write me in the chat, because I don't want that these lives are all about me all the time speaking. What I would love is some kind of co-creation, and also answering questions, and like just communing together. So whenever you have some question, whether it's your question is related to this book, or whether your question is related to some other topic about spirituality, about the ascended masters, about divine purpose, angels, whatever, just shoot. So I will get to your question. Okay. Well, maybe a little bit about me just before we dive in the book. So my name is Kirsi. I live right now in Spain with my family. I have 2 kids. They are 9 and 10 years old. And then we have a dog. He's Bentley, Australian Shepherd dog. He is usually really into coming into these sessions as well. So let's see if he will come and show himself sometimes during these sessions. And I am originally from Finland, where I have lived all of my life, except a few years we lived in Sweden. That's my husband's home country. But right now we live in Spain. We are enjoying the heat here. Actually, it's really warm today as well, but I love it. And my journey as a spiritual teacher, yoga teacher, whatever labels there are, I like to call myself a rebel earth angel nowadays. But my journey started Well, I would like to say already when I was teenager, I started to read all spiritual books and just I loved everything mystical already then. Angels, whatever you mentioned, I was reading those things already like 20 years ago. But my kind of like my soulpreneur journey started year 2015, yeah, about 7 years ago, when I actually started to do these kind of spiritual things more as a living. And I have been an entrepreneur now for 6 years. So that was a little bit about me. Okay, I'm just gonna check here. Yes. So we're gonna dive deep into these teachings of the book, and I would just like to first just share a quick story about the title, Open Your Fucking Heart. I actually didn't came up with the title by myself. It was my Reiki master teacher, my martial arts teacher, my Kundalini yoga teacher, who said that sentence to me once when I was at his martial arts lesson. Actually, the story is here in the introduction part if you want to dive deeper into that. But yeah, the book name just came to me. I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. And when it comes to that word, fucking, hopefully YouTube won't now censor this video. I hope not. And any other that kind of word that you might associate that they are somehow bad words or etc etc. So I believe that it's all about the energy. So what kind of energy you put into that word, that kind of energy, it will also reflect back to you. And that's the same case with everything in life, because everything is energy. Everything, your words, your thoughts, your hands, the whole you, the physical you, everything is energy. So it all depends what kind of energy you are putting into your words, into your writing, into your everyday life, into your actions. That kind of energy, it will reflect back to you. So I'm not afraid of using this word. Actually, I use it quite a lot, whether it's a good thing or not. But for me, that word actually reflects like powerful energy, a little bit. Yeah, well, powerful energy. I think that's a good way of putting it. So now we start with the actual chapter. Oh, and by the way, if you don't have the book yet, you can buy it on Amazon. If you live in Finland or other like Nordic countries, Sweden, Norway, German, then it's amazon.de, usually the best and fastest way to get it. And of course, if you live in US, well then US is the best way, and Spain has also their own Amazon.es. So whatever is your nearest Amazon, so there you can pick it up. It's only $7.77. Yeah. So the first chapter is all about these steps, and it's all about being and becoming unapologetically you. I love the word unapologetically so much. When I start to write this book, channel this book, because that was really how it went. I just took the computer. I had set an intention. Okay, I actually got called to channel a book about love, and that was all I knew. And I just did all my rituals in the beginning and just like took the computer and started typing, and it just came through like these 5 steps. And these 5 steps are also connected to our chakras, to our energy centers, in throat, in heart, in solar plexus, and in sacral chakra, and in our root chakra. And if we would go through now the whole chapter, like I said in the beginning, it would just be way too much. So that's why I'm gonna divide the first chapter into 5 parts, into 5 steps. And the first step is called Be the Badass, Speak Your Authentic Truth. So I believe everything starts from that. Everything starts from being the authentic version of you. Now, I would have 1,000,001 stories about myself, telling my journey about this topic, but I want to honor your time and my time as well, since I have another place to go soon. So I will not go into details right now, but I believe that's the first step. That's where everything starts, with questions like, who are you really? What do you really love? Not what do you really like? Whether it's coming to food or drinks or hobbies or whatever, but it's all about being honest and authentic. And also to your divine purpose, because I truly believe that whatever that it is that you do love in your life to do, what is your passion, that's also interconnected into your soul purpose. We are somehow programmed to believe that the things you like, the things you love, the things that bring you joy, they are kind of like most your hobbies. That's something you just do once in a while, right? And then you have your 9 till 5 job, but that's just so old school, old paradigm, so last season, so to say. So I believe our divine soul purpose is all about becoming authentic, becoming real of what you truly love to do in everyday life. So some questions I would, because the book, like I said, it's 14 chapters, and then after every chapter there is many questions for you to journal, and also action steps. And of course, we will not have time to go through all the questions here. It would take way too long time. But I was thinking, every Friday when we go forward this book, every Friday I will give you one journaling task from the chapter and one mantra for you to practice. Mantra practice meaning repeating this one sentence out loud, and not only repeating it, but also feeling and embodying the mantra inside you. How does it make you feel? And like I said, it's all about saying it out loud. It's all about activating your throat chakra, your own truth. It's about speaking your truths into reality. So that's why. So one journaling task and one mantra practice. I'm just checking if there are not any questions yet. I'm also watching the time. Okay, we have still some time left before I need to go. Yeah, but maybe about the title once more. The title is "Be the Badass, Speak Your Authentic Truth." So what does it mean, being the badass? Like, obviously, you know that we can't just go to whoever person and be like rude and just like expressing our truth so that we are hurting someone. Of course not. Being the badass doesn't mean to be mean. Being the badass and speaking our authentic truth is but it's being in your own power. It's the ability to speak unapologetically. It's the ability to speak in a way that you are not afraid what the other person is going to respond you back. It's all about connecting to your own soul, to your own wisdom, to your own fucking heart. And I know it's not easy. At least it definitely has not been easy for me. It has been a really long road, really many years of doing the inner work. And one thing that I learned that really helped me a lot when I learned to express my own truth was that I stopped thinking what the other persons are thinking. Of course, it didn't happen like this, and I blah blah. I do still think sometimes it's not something that automatically goes away, but what has helped me is that I know in my heart that if some other person is getting hurt or angry somehow about my truth, about my words, what I have shared, whether it's written in social media or whether I have said it out loud or whether it's in my book, if someone gets triggered, angry, sad, somehow awakens really strong negative emotions, those emotions are always in that other person. They are never you. Um, so that truth kind of like really set me free. I was like, oh my God, hallelujah. It's all that easy. Like, I am not, and you are not responsible of how the other people are responding to your truth. So, being the badass means expressing your truth in a way, um, in a nice way. Of course, we want to be friendly, but also in a way that we don't please the other person. So it's all about stop pleasing other people. Yeah, pleasing is a whole other subject. Also, we don't have time to go into details on that one, but the realization that whenever some people are saying nasty things to you or about you or writing some nasty thing to you, know that that thing is never about you. It's always about the other person. She or he has some shit to go through. So that has helped me tremendously. Yes, and then the writing task. Yeah, and also when I spoke about the fact that whatever you love in life, whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you this kind of real excited energy, I truly believe and know in my heart that that's also connected into your soul purpose. So it's all about getting really raw and honest with yourself. Like, what do you want, really? What do you want? What do you love? And don't think of other persons. Don't even think of your family members. I know it can sound really selfish, but it's not. It's you being self-full about yourself. It's not selfishness. It's just really, I think it's really important just to remove all the other people from your life when you're answering to these questions. So, what do I really want in life, in every aspects, not only your job, in every aspect, health, love life, relationship, living, home, everything. What do I really, really want? And what helps me, or what has helped me with that question, is also, if you were handed like a lottery, you would win a lottery, let's say $10 million or 10 million euros, like a really large amount. So what would you still love to do? Let's say that money would not be a problem. Like I said, you just won 10 million bucks. So what would you still love to do? What would be the one thing or a few things that would still want you to wake up from your bed in the morning, that would still get you excited, that you still would love to do? So that has helped me a lot when finding and igniting my own soul purpose. Yes. And then last thing, yeah, we are on 20 minutes. I think it's quite perfect time. No questions still. But actually, even if the live has ended, you can still, I believe you can still ask me questions. So feel free to anyway put your questions down there so I can come always back later and answer them. And remember, there are no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. Okay? So whenever you feel you have some question in you, really, I encourage you to ask it, to take your space, to be vulnerable, to be seen, because that question may help really many other people as well. So we need one brave person to just pop the question. Yeah, and about the mantra, I already explained about the mantra practice. So this week's mantra, so till next Friday when we meet again, this week's mantra is I am sharing my truth unapologetically. I am sharing my truth unapologetically. And when you are saying that out loud, let's say at least 3 times, maybe even more, but at least 3 times, just see what happens in your body. For example, for me, straight kind of like I became taller and a lot more confident, and just see and feel what happens in your body. I am speaking my truth unapologetically. Okay, we gonna end to this week's session, and still no questions. It's totally fine, but feel free to write them later. And if you don't have the book yet, so you'll find it on Amazon. Also, what I'm encouraging you is, if you don't have already, if you have, great, but if you don't have already, buy some kind of a journal, diary, so that you can start to journal and answer all these questions. Because like I share in this book, is it in the, I'd like to read it to you, wait. Yeah, change will not happen just sitting on your sofa and reading this book, or change will not happen only watching YouTube lives or YouTube videos and listening to this book and listening to these teachings. Change will not happen then. Change will only happen when you actually implement these teachings, when you do the journaling, when you do the mantra practice, when you do the action steps. Actually, there is also one action step after each chapter. Why not to take one action step as well? So then we have the Holy Trinity. We have the mantra practice, we have the journaling, we have the action. Yes, I am liking that. So this week's action step is, of course, share your truth. Speak it unapologetically, whether it's on social media or somewhere else. Maybe you have some family dinner coming up, or meeting with some friends, old friends, new friends, whatever. Maybe it's in your working place, but just share your truth. Stop pleasing other people. Yeah, and remember that what I said earlier about the other people, if they are getting triggered by your words, and if your words are being delivered with love and with a friendly triggered, not yours. Okay. Yes. So I am wishing you a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and see you next Friday. Ciao.